All right, let's get this thing started. Hold on, let me do this. Hey everybody. How you guys doing today? We're coming to you live from our basements.
From our cages.
So yeah, Fabio, man, how you doing?
Not too bad, dude. What
All
about
right, let's get this thing started. Hold on, let me
you?
do
Catch
this.
me
Hey everybody.
prepared. Like, I don't even have water
How you guys
anymore.
doing? Well, I was just listening to make sure that the live stream got started, and my mic really sucks, so I apologize about that. Don't know what the problem is again. Gonna throw this one in the trash, and we're gonna start over. But anyway, yeah, we really wanted to start doing this for a long time, and this whole lockdown thing got us kicked in the pants, to get it started. And we've always wanted to do something like this for all of you guys out there in the community. So yeah, finally here we are. Hey Duzan, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey Manji.
What's happening, guys? Everything okay? Oh my god, look at this hair, man. Look weird.
So who we got here? Nuno, hey, what's up, man? It's nice to see you. Yeah, so let's consider this like kind of a test run for this whole thing.
Yes, exactly. So basically, the plan, as Jason already said, we always wanted to bring something more than just an interview. We wanted to bring a live experience to you guys because we have been basically a media company for the past 4 or 5 years making content. Then we started to make like these interviews, and because now we have the chance, we wanted to start pushing this new live show that we plan to do at least once a week. And the idea is really to give you guys a platform where Jason and I can have a conversation with one of you or two of you artists and tell your story. And so we're working a little bit already on the planning as of how this is going to play out and how we're going to do it. As a matter of fact, you can see the beautiful layout that we have that Jason has made. So professional. I love it. And we might have to change the name in the future.
Subject to change in the future.
Yeah, subject to change.
Maybe every time there's a new one. No, okay, I'm not going to do that.
No, let's not do that.
We can curate it. Maybe Patrick Vogel can make us one for every episode.
Yes, we can ask him. You might actually have very good tips about this. But anyway, one of the things that I would like to discuss, because people have asked, and obviously the news came out a couple of days ago that we had to shut down the D2 conference this year. This is very unfortunate. I think that this is the time of the year that so many people look forward to, and we had it coming, meaning that we knew that it was uncertain, the situation, but then when the government announced this restriction, we had to make the decision to shut it down. And it was funny because when we did it, people were like, can we still come to Vienna? It's like...
Yeah. It's true, actually. People were still... they still want to get together, which totally makes sense. And I think even more so now. It's been such a strange time to have all contact with everyone only through video feed. But we'll get back to that, eventually, where we can actually meet up and drink a beer together, and it's going to be awesome. I can already tell when it happens finally. Everybody's all, cabin fevered out. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely unfortunate, but we have some big plans, which everybody should keep an eye out for. multiple things which we're working on. So we're pretty.
Can we disclose anything?
I don't know if we should say anything yet. I think we should maybe hold off a little bit more. But
well, the important thing I think is that people need to understand that we're not going to take this as a defeat. We're going to take this as a we're going to take it as a challenge, and we're going to face it as a challenge. And we're going to try and do everything we can to come up with something that it's going to give you sort of like a little bit of that feeling that you're still hanging out with the people from the D2, even though it's not in person.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, every time that I think about it, I get sad in my heart. It's like, I'm not gonna see people. Oh,
yeah,
I'm not
it's
gonna
tough.
be able to hang out.
It's tough because I also am going to about 4 or 5 different events in the year too, not just the D2, but which is actually more relaxing for us. Of course, if you go to an event that you don't have to organize, you get to actually talk to people. And I was lucky. I went to London right before all of this happened, like right when it was starting to happen, and that was it's strange because I think I went to one of the last events that was like being held like for 3D stuff. It was basically one of the last ones that actually happened, and I already am like, man, I cannot believe it was so only like a couple months ago. It feels like now forever that these things have been shut down, and it's gonna be a while, and it's too bad. But I already look forward to coming back to these kind of events, and I think everyone else does as well, probably. So.
Jen says that there won't be any international travel, and that's the reality actually. Even in Tel Aviv at the moment, the only flights that are going in and out are rescue flights, and so people that need to go back to their own countries or that got stuck here, and that's it.
Yeah.
What about Austria? Have you guys heard anything about Austria when they're going to reopen it?
Well, I think at the moment there's no information about that. About you mean flights and stuff or what?
Yes.
I mean, right now I think pretty much it's closed down, so it's hard to say. I don't know because I don't think they know either. But they're starting to open things again, so they're trying to get back to trying to slowly go back to having things open and see what happens. But I think it's all tests. It's like all a big test anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think we've all been dwelling on this for so long. I think we should. Do you have any funny videos you want to show, or like from? I have to say that's one thing you'll never be let down by like people's memeing abilities, during situations, and somehow it's always nice that you can find a way to laugh about like the situation. And I was actually happy because I felt like I've been very, not necessarily depressed, but like completely distracted by everything, that I wasn't myself or anything like that. But then Matthew Bannister wrote me and he's like, man, I wanted to check on you, how you're doing, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm doing good. And he's like, I'm glad to see that you can keep your sense of humor. So apparently I'm not being too negative, which is good because like maybe it's just in my head. But I'm happy to know that. And then of course I made a couple more jokes during that chat. So I think it is one of the best ways to kind of get by, to get through things,
Yeah. Yeah, no, but anyway, like these are times where you're supposed to do a little bit of digging and do a little bit of like thinking. And actually, I'm very happy that we're finally starting this show, because I think that when you and I meet because of business, because of the things that we do, we always laugh our butts off.
Yeah, usually.
I guess to bring like the community to see that side of the way we do things might actually be very entertaining for people to understand what it's like to work together and to do things whilst having fun. and maybe also have a little bit of an insight as of why the D2 is so successful per se, because we really put a lot of love and passion when we do it, and we make sure that people get the best time ever. But
Hey,
anyway,
Filippo, what's up?
It's so nice that I see people coming to check us out.
Yeah, it is good. I mean,
consultant.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the thing, it's what's strange about all this is that if you don't know the D2 or know us, then you're not clear of like who's behind it or what's going on. And I was just talking to someone from Maxon today, and I think the thing is, if they know who you are, what they like about it is that it's really just us. It's just some guys. There's nothing else behind it. Like there's no other company or some hidden I don't know, some hidden agendas from software companies or anything like that. And so we're pretty neutral in general in terms, except that we both use Cinema 4D. So maybe we aren't neutral, but the D2 is neutral.
we gotta teach Christian how to use 3ds Max.
Big Maxon shout out. I'm moving to Blender, guys. So we can be super neutral.
Jens is asking whether or not you're still working on projects. You still work on projects, at least with architecture competition. It didn't slow down yet. That's a good thing that you're saying this, Jens, at least for you, because it's like over the past 2 months, I've had conversations with a lot of people, and there was a very split 50-50 divide between people that said everything is blocked and no projects are coming in, and people that said, no, everything is fine, we're still moving forward, the client wants to move forward. I've had a couple of people that, said to me everything is fine, and then a couple of days later said, no, everything is blocked, everything stopped. But at the moment, it seems like things are going back to normal, because there is the will of people to go back to normal. Because that's the thing about this virus, right? It's not an economical crisis in terms of like governments and states and cities and clients have run out of money. It's just that people were impaired; they could not actually do the work.
Yeah.
And so now that things are moving again, things are starting to pick up again. But a lot of people I've heard, I follow a lot of blogs and channels where they talk about business and that kind of stuff. They say that the repercussions of what this crisis has created, we're going to feel for anything between 3 and 6 months. Some people say even a couple of years. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I find it interesting that competitions are still going on, but I guess that makes the most sense because they don't have already a fixed date to be constructed or anything like that. They can still do the competition and do the process which was already set in motion. So that makes kind of sense in a way. Yeah, like Jens just said, marketing projects with cancellations. I mean, that seems to me more likely, that these things would be canceled. I actually had a project myself, which was not ArcViz. It was actually doing some exhibition design, and it of course, because it's with a museum, was also postponed. Luckily, it wasn't canceled; it was postponed. But in terms of ArcViz jobs, I mean, I'm directing this to Jens directly. I don't really do that much anymore. So I was not in a position where I had like the fear to lose a lot of jobs because I don't actually do that many anyway. I kind of do them as they come along. Of course, there's nothing coming along. So that's like something to deal with. But yeah, I think in general, it's so unknown. I think everything. I mean, I've been listening to some of these real estate guys talk together. Like Matthew Bannister hooked me up with some Zoom meetings where these guys are talking about. I think it's on YouTube as well. Like these really high-end developers, people that they've actually worked with as well, like that are doing large scale projects, and they're getting together like weekly or something and doing some discussions about the property market and the real estate market. The first one they did, it was funny because they seemed quite like unfazed by the whole thing. They seemed very like hopeful that they're like it's not a bank problem, it's the COVID problem, and so it's not like a financial problem. But I think as it goes on further, they are starting to see, okay, we have to, brace for a little bit some kind of difference in the near future. But
yeah, of course, because you're gonna run out of budgets, and you're gonna run out of like liquidities also. But I have the feeling, and you shouldn't listen to me telling you about my feelings, because generally speaking, I'm a super positive person, and I don't even pretend to be. I'm just like super positive all the time. But I feel like inside of me that we're out of the woods. Like, I talk to a lot of people that tell me, we got a couple of projects coming in, we got a couple of new leads. Hopefully this is the end of it. Then we don't know if there will be another wave, and then the governments will do another shutdown. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so
this is also This is also part though of the conversation that we had when we were thinking about shutting down the D2.
Yeah.
That we also didn't feel morally right to ask people for money after artists had a whole of like a couple of months inside their revenue to say, come and watch us at the D2 and have to fork, I don't know, 1,500 euros to come to the D2 conference. And so, it was a decision made really with having people in mind and saying this is probably the best thing that we can do for everybody.
Yeah. So just to move on from that, because I think we didn't have lots of plans for this this quarantine hair edition of the of the inaugural D2 live stream, but I did also want to talk about a little bit of our plans for what we want to do, and like Fabio said a little bit earlier, is that we plan to bring on guests. We plan to do this every week, and to bring on guests that we can talk to. Surely, with our with some of the people that we know, I think we can get some pretty good ones here and there, and of course, probably some bad ones too. But we're not going to say if they're bad or not until afterwards. But no, I think that this should bring some fun to the situation, and also further on down the road, have something fun to do. Is it going to be on Thursday always? I don't know. For now, it will be.
The plan is that we would like to do something a little bit more than, so to say, the usual commitment that we do with the D2. But really, yeah. I don't want to share too much. It's.
I know, yeah.
I promise we're going to do our best to make you guys a bit happier for that week of August, where you didn't get to hang out with others of your kind.
That's probably a good way to put it. Yeah.
Others of your kind.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
Let me just give a little shout out to those who are watching right now, because I see also some of the artists that have been submitting for the contest that we're running, this weekly contest. Guys, little heads up. This week, because the competition was so hard, I've got less than 10 entries.
Oh no, really?
It's of course, it's only Thursday. We still have time Friday and Saturday, so probably more entries will come. But you got a higher chance to win, and this time there are actual really good prizes. There is a V-Ray license for a year. There is a brick masterclass about composition. Brick, they've been running these new masterclasses, which have been designed also for senior people. So don't think that this is some sort of like entry-level masterclass. And there is also 100 euros worth of assets from Sigimood. So, if you were thinking about entering this competition, now you got one more reason to do it. I wrote to a friend of mine saying that, and he's like, "Thanks, that's a very nice compliment, man." Like, hey man, now you can win because there are only like 10 entries. And the guy was like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
But
this
they're
is
all
something that
top
we should
quality.
decide about this show. Can we use strong language? It's not a...
Did someone ask?
It's
Yes.
a Christian channel.
Yes, please. You can curse as much as you want in the comments.
I really look forward to, in the future, to...
Well, I think
to bring like the hardcore guests.
Well, I was gonna
Hey,
say we have to bring Mike Winkelmann on here, and then it's like definitely not for kids.
We'll get banned.
No, I plan on this though. We're gonna have Mike on here one time. We have to. He's a great guy to talk to, and he's quite hilarious. I actually, when he was here for the D2, I went out with him and his family. We went out to eat, and we went to a nice place which had, like a beer garden, and he was there with his wife and the kids, and it was basically just us sitting outside. There weren't that many people there, and yeah, every third word. It was like not at his kids, but like the kids were there, and so he wasn't really. He didn't change at all between stage Mike and family Mike. It was the same guy.
I think it's genuinely that way,
Hey Jeff, what's up, man? You ready to be overloaded? You said. We're here.
That sounds so bad, Jeff. Are you ready to be overloaded?
I want to shout out to Mike
look
also.
Look into my eyes when I overload you.
Also shout out to Mike. Mark in the crowd there. Droki, Mark, what's up?
I really like the what is it called, the emoji where the guy's doing the dubbing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
And so these are our plans. This is everything that we are doing right now, that we're trying to work on at the moment. So I look forward to see people coming to the show, talking to us, and like sort of us putting this 1 hour of content together, have fun, maybe share a drink or whatnot, and share stories about
cheers everybody.
World of CGI. I even forgot my drink. You see, if I am not the one preparing things.
That's part of my daily lockdown overload, is having a beer at the end of the day. It's really important during these difficult times. So let's hope that that doesn't get out of hand, though. That's, I think, a lot of. It's weird to be sitting at home all the time, and not to. It feels a little bit like a vacation half the time, like a vacation where you can't go anywhere.
It does.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you think we're gonna stick to Thursday night? I like the Thursday night hangout.
I think Thursday's good. What do you guys think? You guys who are watching. It's going to be delayed a little bit, but I also think that we have a lot of good topics. So the things that happen during the weeks, maybe in general in our field, or other things that happen that we would also. That's a plan to discuss these things. Fabio and I have lots of conversations. Not live, and that's kind of what we want to bring to this, is these kind of conversations that we have, because sometimes we're thinking, man, that would have been a perfect thing to talk about, like to have like a discussion with other people about, but then it gets lost in the private field. So
yes, it's true.
Mike is asking that I only drink at the end of the day. Because that's true, because when he does stuff with like Europeans, he has to drink in the middle of the day.
This is so cool that we get to hang out with you guys as you and I, because it's it's not the same. I'm not saying that it's the same as when we do it in Vienna, but at least it's a chance for us to have a conversation, you know. And I have to say, I really enjoyed like spending time watching the lives from Mike Drokis. Although most of the time, what I do it silently, simply because my wife is watching TV. I'm doing it from the sofa, or like, you know, hanging out with you at the judging of the competitions. So much fun. Oh, and I have to say, for this
the competition stuff is great. I'm really enjoying that.
For the Sunday edition, I've downloaded a couple of sound effects, and I'm gonna try them. I'm gonna try them out. I'm gonna test them and see the reactions of the public, and we're just gonna go for it. Okay?
All right.
We're gonna see what people say. In case they don't like it, I apologize in advance, but we gotta do it. You know, we gotta test. We gotta see what works best. I'm
looking forward to this.
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, like this week I'm going to have as a judge extra. There's going to be Tanya and Patrick, of course.
Oh, okay.
Patrick won the competition last time.
Sounds good.
You hopefully, if Mike wants to join me, wants to honor me of his presence as a judge, Mike.
The more judges we get, the longer this show can be.
Yeah, but it's fine, you know. Like, people love that, and then I get all the criticism for being the one rushing through the projects.
No, it's your show, man. You're the one in charge of telling people to shut up and keep moving. Like what we have to do at the D2 if somebody's talking too long. You're like, hey, come on, it's time. You got 5 minutes. You're overtime already.
I'm reading one of the comments is you guys should have a podcast. Actually, there is a link in the description, maybe not of this video, but of all the other videos. We have a podcast version of all the things that we're going to do. And so probably in the future, even these live streams will be a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So you can listen to it. The advantage of video, though, is that we can show some things on screen, you know, without having to detract from, you know, if you're listening in just the audio, you're not gonna get the full feeling.
You're not gonna get the full experience,
the full emotional roller coaster. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Should we?
Yeah, I think that, you know, with this episode, we just wanted to give you a overview of what's coming. We want you, you know, to bookmark this space, because eventually, as of next week, we're just gonna start talking to other artists and try to organize chats with which, you know, we can give you a little bit of keep you a little bit of company, and maybe share some insights from our beautiful industry. But I guess that for now, that's it. Or
yeah.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to share, Jason?
No, not really. I think just that you guys should be on the lookout and keep this date open, because we're gonna continue doing this, and of course, hopefully, it will be more fun next time. We were kind of just using this as the first test, and to kind of joke around with the graphics and everything. I actually think that some people thought it was satire, like I was making fun of all the live streams, you know, and then I realized I should probably write, this is really happening. This is not a joke.
As you posted it, in my head, I had a picture of Jeff saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Another one.
And then he did.
And then he did. And that was the thing, you know, like, I really called it. And I was like, I really want to send Jeff a message before we post this, just because I knew that he was going to react that way. And I think that, you know, this is a good thing, because it shows how good of friends we are, you know, because it's
exactly.
Like, you simply expect how they would react.
Yeah, but what did he say? Maybe next week, tune in and watch Jason iron his laundry.
Listen, that would be the next step. I'll just strap a cam on my head, and I'll take you with me when I take Pepper to outside for a poop. When I cook.
Yeah.
When I.
It was kind of like your early vlogs, yeah. You were just like walking around and following what's going on.
See, how long did it take? I love you too, Jeff. How long did it take me to find the right format, for the stuff that I was doing?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was like 2 years of experimenting, and hopefully it won't take us that long with this show, because I have a couple of ideas. I know what people like to see, but we also need to be able to share our voice.
What's up, Mirce? Sorry. I had to say what's up to Mirce.
No, it's all right. It's all right. But as I was saying, I hope that we're gonna find our voice very quickly, because it's very hard to behave the way that we behave in normal life when we do these things.
Yeah, it is. I think that maybe there's something missing in our area. We need to have some fun, and I've always thought that at the beginning I always thought the D2 needed to be kind of serious, but then I realized that as it went on that it's really about the fun that the people have together, and of course you have to balance that with the more serious people like Autodesk sponsor, people like that. But no, Autodesk is cool. Those guys are cool. I'm just kidding a little bit.
Let me tell you, Autodesk is really like they're steering the ship around, man.
They've done the best job of any. They did a huge turnaround from like 3 years ago when everybody was like pissed with them.
From Autodesk listening, guys, props to you. You're doing an incredible job. And you got some people working for you that are really, really cool. And on the other side, on the other end of the spectrum, I'm seeing some companies that started out good, sort of like behaving a little bit like Autodesk used to a few years back. I don't know. Maybe they just swapped management, but it's okay. We're here to help them out also.
Yeah, we have to talk after this and see how far we want to go with like naming names of companies.
How far do we want to scoop the shit from the bucket?
Because honestly, I never would have thought 5 years ago what I would know now, like in the behind the scenes stuff that's going on. I never thought I would know the things I know now, but yeah. Maybe one day we can tell you about it when we're all old and we're sitting on the front porch, having an iced tea. We can talk about it, but some strange things you wouldn't expect.
And actually, one of the guys that I was looking forward the most to meet again this year at the D2 is Bruno.
Bruno, yeah.
From Autodesk. That guy is a real party. Not an animal, but like a party sensation. Put it that way. That's probably the better way to.
He's
put it.
Definitely a fun guy, and I think I wanted to say also that I do think that, like you said, Autodesk is a company that they really realized the mistakes they were making in their outreach to the customers for that specific product, and in my mind, and also just from talking to, I don't use Macs, so I have no idea, but talking to people who use Macs, they also had a much better feeling about what the direction was going. And it's actually pretty interesting because I think that's a good case study to look at. How do you reverse your course a little bit and try to make things better? And they did a good job, I have to say. And one of those things was they never were direct sponsors of the D2. And then people were there one time and they said, "Hey, what the fuck? Where's Autodesk?" And we had some conversations with them, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, we're going to be there." And that's actually it meant a lot to us, and it meant a lot, of course, to the people who come to the D2. So it's a pretty commendable thing that they've done.
Yes, I think that like what what some company have failed for a very long time to understand is that there is an actual community behind the job, and the community, we have had this conversation already over to my channel when we did the competitions, when people were getting mad for the way that we were doing the judging and the contest, and we were like, listen, if you want something professional, there is only one contest that it's worth participating and really like do a lot of work for, and it's the CG Architect Awards of Jeff, and Jeff is here now watching. And I've said this every single episode because like people were like getting mad about the fact that we were not doing things professionally, but the reality is that we were doing this for the community. We're still doing it for the community, and you have no idea how much people are happy of the fact that we were just doing this just to entertain people and to give them something to do during this period of downtime. The fact that now companies are realizing this, and they're reaching out and they're trying to support us also in this endeavor, it shows that they shifted their focus from the sale of the product to the sustaining of the community. Not all the companies, just a few companies, but kudos to them, because it shows that they finally understand who they need to worry about, which is their clients, and not their sales.
I also want to go back to what you just said, though, about the challenges that you've been doing on your channel and the judging. There really can't be a worse format for judging, I mean, but that's the fun part, and I think that I just wanted to say that there's not that many people watching us right now, but there are people in there who've put stuff in there, and none of them are the ones who have complained. But it's for fun, people. Like that's the thing. It's for fun, and part of that fun is watching three people try to pick the best images in an hour. It's like, I mean, it's almost impossible. We usually get the images that earlier in the day to narrow them down. I mean, that's like no time, right? It's so it's kind of a very emotional, only like first glance, what's good, what's not good when you pick the first images. That's it. That's all you get. And it's but in a way it kind of matches the format of having to do the image in only a week, and then you have to have this competition.
Exactly.
But it's so much fun. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, I laughed so much, and it's crazy. I'm so proud of the toilet flush. It breaks my heart that I cannot bring it back. Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try different sound effects, okay?
But Fabio, I gave you, when we talked about that the first time, I gave you the jet, like the sound of the toilet, like in a like in an airplane.
In an airplane.
That's a good. That's like a really. That is like that's being ejected. Like at high speed. So yeah.
Oh man.
Those are only.
Okay, let me tell those who are listening now. When I flushed the toilet the first time, I had to mute my microphone because I started to laugh for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. And so I just let the other people speak. And then I really had to distract myself from thinking about the toilet flush, because every time that I would think about it, I would just snort like a pig. I would be like... I was like, is the microphone on?
Yeah, actually, I think I had to, I kind of took over for you as host for a second, yeah. So that we could move on.
Oh, man.
Well, I think Mike, if he's still here, he could remember our conversation that we actually had. It was the three of us afterwards, and we were talking about the sound effects, and Mike wasn't with us on the flushing at all. So we have to say that if anybody really hates the flushing noise and is like, has a bad feeling about that, well, you can totally blame me and Fabio. Mike, you leave Mike out of it because he wanted something else, and I at least want to give him that to spare him from from the scrutiny.
Yes. From the public humiliation.
I don't know. I just don't understand why. I mean, why get mad? It's just your image made it into the top 20. You know.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get mad. Come on, if we wouldn't it be? It would be bad, I guess, if we looked and said, okay, here's the worst image we found in all of the competition, and we're gonna flush it now. That's one thing, you know. But we were just it's just for fun.
But anyway. Oh yeah, Mike is saying it's very pro Pac-Man dead sound. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. You know we're gonna get T-shirts, Mark. We're gonna have T-shirts that have our faces on it with Mark, James, and Pablo for the next conference. Yeah.
Pablo.
So also I want to just jump back. If anybody who's watching right now is or also watching later on watches it afterwards, that if you did have a ticket for the D2, since we have canceled, we're going to be in touch about that, about the refund process and everything. We're working it out. It's it's kind of crazy. Eventbrite as well has a crazy time because all these events are canceled. They have to make all these payments back. So everything takes a lot more time than normal. So if any of you out there are curious about that, then we will be in touch soon, and we'll get everything worked out. So, man, should we wrap it up for today?
Yeah, dude. Thanks a lot for taking the time to set this up, and I'm looking forward already to our next meet next week.
Yeah, I think next week we're going to have some topics. We might have a surprise guest to drop in, have a chat. So we really look forward to doing that. And thank you all who are here for watching, and check it out. Put it on your calendar for next week because we're going to do it again.
Yeah, man.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.